I knew you were going to look. Okay. Hey guys, today we're taking a little trip down memory lane. Also, my visa has been approved for another 12 months in the UK. Woohoo! So that's something. We're chill now, kind of. A lot of other stuff is still going on, but at least that's sorted. Okay, so because I moved, I do not have any of my old sketchbooks here with me, but I did take a picture of quite a few of them before leaving, and they're on my drive. So we're going to go through them, and I'm going to talk about them, and we're going to see, hopefully, a bit of progress. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to show you some more recent sketchbooks, just to see where things are at. I don't have a new sketchbook completed, though I'm going to do that soon because I really like doing sketchbook tours. If you're new here or you're coming back for more, please feel free to subscribe and like and comment on the video, and that would be great. I wish I could find my old digital art paintings, because the early days ones, they're very sweet but terrible, and I really like to be able to show a bit more of that progress, but I don't know where they are. I think they're all lost. I uploaded them to DeviantArt and I can no longer remember my handle or my login, so they're lost to the ether, unfortunately. But I do have some sketches that we're going to go through together. First, we're going to start off with a little dog sketch that I did back in 2009, I think. I'll move to the side. It's fine. It's cute. The shading is a sign of the time. I didn't really know what I was doing. I wasn't thinking about light source. All I was doing is looking at a photo and trying to mimic it. So I'm not really understanding the light, the dark, the shadows, the shapes, the anatomy, all that good stuff. Unnecessary. We're just going to shade and render the hell out of these poor pups. And that's what I did. But I was so proud of this at the time, and because of that, I really think it's so cute. I know in this video I'll say that things are bad or that I hate this or that and whatever, but I do want to say that this is relative to where I'm at now and where I want to be art-wise. At the time, I was starting to get more into drawing and trying to create a little portfolio. This was good for me at the time. Like, I loved this. So if your art looks more like this or more like my current stuff, like, or anywhere in between, it doesn't make what you're drawing or your technique or your skill good or bad, because the thing is we're all working on it and we're learning and we're improving. So I just wanted to put that out there, because I know when I used to watch sketch videos and someone would draw something amazing and then be like, ooh, hate it. It would be kind of a weird feeling for me, because I'm trying to emulate what you already think is a trash drawing. It's a weird one. So relative to my own progress, I can now say that this is very beginner level. So now that that's out of the way, this one is very much based off my absolute love for Maniac. If you know the manga, I was obsessed. I would read them, I would buy them, I would watch the anime, I'd look up pictures online to copy. I loved it. It was everything. And so, if you can notice, this is very Nina-esque. And I was so thrilled with how this one turned out. It was the first page of my sketchbook, and I know everyone gets a bad rap for drawing anime, but I think it does. You do have to find your own style eventually, but I think that a lot of the little shorthand stuff and some of the creativity that you do develop watching and drawing manga or anime, I rate it. I think I love it. And that, I know it's biased because I'm still a weeb, but there it is. And there this is. Beautiful piece of art. Alright, on to the next one. I didn't really say much about this one, but I wanted to put it in just to show my continuation of my anime phase. I thought that this was my masterpiece. What did I say? I think that this is kind of meant to be me at the time. I loved the little persona things, or like the little mascots that a lot of characters would have, so hence the little bunny outfit. This is where it becomes a bit of a problem if you don't go on and develop your drawing skills further, is you end up with very weird anatomy. For me anyway, you're not going to really be able to draw a face besides front on, straight profile, or a kind of slight 3/4, because you're not building up any knowledge on facial anatomy and shape. But you can make some cute little characters, so that's something. There are a few other anime ones. This one I drew for a friend. He loved it. So that's great. Oh my gosh. Iji was a Japanese. He was a Japanese idol. He was Iji Wentz. Oh my gosh. That's such a throwback. Okay. Iji Wentz is now 38. Okay, who is a Japanese singer, entertainer, actor, and a member of the duo What. And I had the massivest crush on him. I'm not sure how that's going to show up, but this is what we're dealing with. As a 15-year-old, that was good stuff. That was good stuff for me. Back to the picture itself, you can see again the rendering is just for the sake of rendering. I don't know what I'm doing, why I'm putting shadows where I am. The eyes are wonky as, but I feel like there's a little bit of likeness, and it was really good for me to be practicing drawing from photos and trying to be a bit more realistic, because otherwise it literally would just be anime characters forever. And I think that this was helping in the early days to actually start building a bit of a foundation for more accurate character design. Guess what song came out around the time of this drawing? If you picked Fireflies, you'd be right. I remember drawing this, and I thought it was so cute. I can't remember where I found it, but the style of cat and even the little guy's face, like I feel like I had been looking at a lot of art from artists who drew like that, and so I just felt so proud of it. I thought that was great. It's funny because I can still see the issues that I have now, even back then. One of which being when I wanted to draw a character in an environment, it would be draw the character and then kind of fit the environment around them. Which isn't the best move. Like, it doesn't look like they're really living in the space you've put them in. And I always ran out of steam by the time I got to the background, so it's always very loose and not very interesting or detailed or whatever. So it's good to know some habits die hard. Me and my friends at one point, we went to the park and there were a group of people playing cricket, so we're doing some figure drawing. And I know that these look very, very sketchy and barely figure drawing at all. But at the time, this was good practice, and this was really hard for me. And it has been a study, like a practice that I still try to do because I know that this isn't really my go-to and this isn't really what comes easy to me, of drawing people in motion and capturing a moment. But it just shows like every little bit helps. Every little practice you're improving. So it's kind of cute to see what I was doing back in the day. And do you know what's crazy? I was so slow to these sorts of things like life drawing and figure drawing that by the time I started doing it, you know, it looked pretty amateur. But I see people, like kids online, who are doing figure drawing and all this sort of stuff in their sketchbook at like 13, 14, and it looks really good. And it's just crazy because for me, that was just so not on my radar, and it's setting these kids up for like such good practice and to have really lovely, like flowy, dynamic lines and poses that I'm really impressed. I wish I had done it more when I was younger. But I know it can be a bit boring if you don't enjoy it, but it's definitely something that you should be doing. Here are some of my first ever OCs. They were a very punk grunge little group that lived in Auckland and would go to shows and gigs together, and you know, the stories were always very heartbreaking, blah blah, like blah blah, and love triangle and very angsty teen stuff that you would expect. I used to go to quite a few shows as a teen, and so the people around me at these shows, this was the vibe a lot of the time, and it was very much inspired by that. And I will say, I almost forgot, but now I'm just looking at it, it's just all coming back to me. The artist I used to love during this time period was Fukari. Her stuff, her OCs were so inspiring to me. I used to be obsessed. Like, I would look at the same pictures over and over again and like was just so desperate to draw how she drew. And it's funny because at the time when I drew these, like, that was the vibe I was wanting to give off, but I just felt like, you know, I didn't capture it at all. But now, looking back, now that it's so many years later, I can see the influence so strong, and I actually think these are still really good. Like, I think I still really love these characters. Unfortunately, I then have a massive gap in the drawings between 2010 to, I think, 2014 we're at now. But here are some that I have on my drive still. So this one I still really like. I think she's cute. I loved her at the time. She ended up being part of like a 3-piece, and they were all these little monster girls. But this one was my favorite. If you're familiar with, I want to say Audra Auclair, I'm not sure if that's exactly how you pronounce her name. If you're familiar with her on Instagram or YouTube, I'm not sure if she's made any videos recently, but she used to make a lot, and I loved her stuff, and it was always very like girl based and almost kind of surreal, and there was a lot of fantasy intertwined in it, and I think that she was probably my biggest inspiration at this time. This was also done at the same time. This one was very much inspired by Maze Do, if you know. She's on Instagram, and I actually have one of her art books. And when I'm going to do an art book video at some point and talk about all my inspirations and the artists I love. But like, is that focus? Yeah. But she was a huge inspiration to me for so many years. That might be all I have on my drive. That's about it. Like, there's not too much more that I have in way of my older stuff. There is this sketchbook that only has about 3 or 4 pages filled out, but this is some of my older doodle sort of stuff as well. There's not too much to say about this. There's a lot of comic book planning and just like goofy little doodles that I enjoyed doing. I like to explore with a lot of different styles, so that usually shows up a lot in all my sketchbooks. I'm also trying to work on finishing my current sketchbook, which is this one, and we are maybe 20 pages from the end. Thank you for all the kind words from my last video. I really appreciate that. It has been a very stressful time. We're getting through it and we're slowly coming out the other side, but it has definitely taken a massive toll on my mental capacity for filming and creating videos, but hopefully we're back into a consistent schedule. Thanks so much for watching. Catch you all later. Bye.